Hi, my name is Thais Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about primary and secondary attachment styles. So this is a question that comes up a lot, which is basically, can we have a primary and secondary attachment style? And the answer is absolutely yes. See, when we look at attachment theory, it sort of exists along a continuum. It's not like a cookie cutter, people get put in a box. Really, the way I like to think of our different attachment styles are essentially the subconscious rules that we learn to relate to other people. And so the analogy I often give is it's like if you have two people with a different subconscious set of rules, somebody who learns, for example, in a more avoidant family that relating to one another is all about hyper independence and looking out for yourself. And then somebody else in more of a codependent family, which is like everybody takes care of each other's emotions and is responsible for how other people feel. You have these two individuals that grow up with these different subconscious sets of rules. And you can sort of like imagine that that's like two people playing a board game with a different rule book. Like there's going to be friction and challenges and sort of different dynamics. But in saying that, subconscious rules that we live by and core wounds that we adapt over time and experiences that we have that are modeled to us, these things are not cookie cutter. They're not like everybody's put in a box. There's just different patterns and different things that we can notice and take away from some of these dynamics, but they're not a just one size fits all. And so what I tend to find that's fairly pervasively true is that we tend to have a primary attachment style, so a space of rules that we tend to play by the most. And this is also connected to the core fears that we have. So for example, fearful avoidance, generally one of their biggest core fears is dominantly about betrayal and trust, fearing trusting and relying on other people. DAs dominantly fear losing their independence and also in a way having to rely on someone else, but like in any form, right? Not in a way that's like in an emotional way, like fearful avoidance, but just in any form. For dismissive avoidance, they also fear feeling defective. And APs, anxious, preoccupied individuals, tend to really fear abandonment. So there's these core fears that tend to sort of create what your primary attachment style is. And then some of the subconscious sets of rules that you have in terms of needs and expectations and emotional patterns as well that are sometimes acquired to a certain degree through the experiences that are consistently modeled to you and the framework that creates at a subconscious level at quite an early age. But what essentially happens is we'll find that people have secondary attachment styles. And really what this expresses is where they're leaning on the continuum. So if you imagine it's existing along a continuum, we can have a fearful avoidant who leans more anxious or sort of towards the anxious side of the continuum, or a fearful avoidant who leans more dismissive or more on the dismissive side of the continuum, or somebody who's predominantly dismissive, but has a little bit of fearful avoidant patterns, a little bit of distrust and suspicion and sometimes poor boundaries and a little bit of enmeshment. So you'll see that there are different dynamics, but we tend to have a primary attachment style that affects us the most, and then sort of secondary patterns that can influence and sort of lean an attachment style to a certain degree. So hopefully this makes a whole lot of sense. One cool thing that we've done is we've updated our attachment style quiz. So you'll see that coming out soon. And it's to break down our attachment style quiz into attachment styles in different areas so it can be more specific and you can really see your primary and secondary attachment style in the workplace, in romantic relationships, in friendships, and in family relationships, and sort of derive what's going on for you in those different areas. And then being able to see in your report that follows up with it, what you can take away and the patterns you can use to really break down, change, and reprogram. And of course, we've got a lot of resources for that inside of PDS. And if you want to check some of these things out a little bit further, I highly recommend as a starting point, the Reprogramming Your Attachment Style courses for whatever you test as predominantly your attachment style. And it will really help you hone in on some of these core wounds, unmet needs, fears, and things you need to do to heal your attachment style so you can show up and be secure and feel happy and like you're thriving in your relationships. So hopefully this makes a whole lot of sense. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.